Obi Toppin news leads Indiana in victory. Wolves thanks to Obi Toppin's late OT triple. March 18th, the Indiana Pacers defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 132-130 in Minneapolis on Monday thanks to 34 points from Obi Toppin, who also made the game-winning three-pointer with 3.5 seconds left in overtime. Toppin equaled his season-high point total with 7 of 10 shots as Indiana, 38-29, won for the third consecutive game. He pulled down 10 more rebounds. Before fouling out in the fourth quarter, Benedict Mathurin ended with 22 points. Minnesota, 40-30, ended an 8-game winning run with a 38-point performance from Anthony Edwards. Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid, the reserves, scored 19 and 21 points respectively. In the latter half of overtime, Toppin made 2 3-pointers. With 27.4 seconds to go, he made a long-range shot to put Indiana up 129-128. With 18.5 seconds remaining, Edwards sank 2 free throws on the other end to put the Timberwolves back up 130-129. Once again, it prepared the way for Toppin. He received the ball from T.J. McConnell, and Toppin made a 22-foot jumper to put the score at 132-130. Timberwolves' last-ditch attempt was missed by Julius Randle. By the conclusion of regulation, the score was equal at 117 all. At the fourth quarter buzzer, Edwards had an opportunity to give the Timberwolves the victory, but he missed it. With 4.6 seconds left in regulation, McConnell made a driving layup to tie the game. Rudy Gobert of Minnesota and Andrew Nembhard of Indiana were both sent off during a third-quarter altercation. Nembhard drove to the hoop and seemed to push Timberwolves guard Mike Conley in the upper chest to begin the sequence. Nembhard responded by hurling the ball at Gobert after Gobert slammed his shoulder hard into him while playing defense. Before hostilities could worsen, teammates separated the two players. For the intermission, Indiana had a 60-46 lead, but by the conclusion of the third session, Minnesota had closed the gap to 89-87. Obi Toppin news leads Indiana in victory. Toppin led the team to a 132-130 overtime victory against the Timberwolves on Monday, scoring 34 points, 12-19 FG, 7-10 3 points, 3-4 feet, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal and 1 block in 45 minutes. For the first time this season, the fourth-year big man was selected for the starting lineup since Aaron Nesmith, ankle, Miles Turner, hip, and Pascal Siakam, personal, were out. In addition to setting game highs for rebounds and three-pointers, Toppin had a team-high number of points. He also made the game-winning fadeaway three-pointer from the corner in the closing seconds, and 2 of his 7 three-pointers were in the last 30 seconds of overtime. For only the second time this season, the 27-year-old posted at least 30 points and 10 rebounds, his second double-double in 64 regular season games. Obi Toppin does Tyrese Halliburton impression in lifting short-handed Indiana Pacers to win. On Monday night, Obi Toppin repeated Tyrese Halliburton's game-winning performance. With 3 seconds remaining, Toppin leaned left and made a three-pointer deep in the left corner, helping the Indiana Pacers, who were short-handed, defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves 132-130 in overtime. Minnesota entered on an 8-game winning run and had not lost in March. Toppin finished his night with the exciting three-pointer, scoring 34 points on a career-high 7 three-pointers and grabbing 10 rebounds. Benedict Mathurin had fouled out, and there were no regular Pacers starters available in overtime because of injuries or ejections. With 4 seconds left in regular time, T.J. McConnell made a basket to prolong the game. Toppin's 34 points and late 3 in OT lead depleted Pacers to 132-130 win, stop Wolves' streak at 8. AP/Minnesota on Monday night, the Indiana Pacers defeated Minnesota 132-130 thanks to a three-pointer by Obi Toppin with 3.5 seconds remaining in overtime, snapping the Timberwolves' 8-game winning streak. Pacers won without their top 6 scorers in the closing minutes thanks to Toppin's season-high 34 points on 7-4-10 long-range shooting. There were 4 starters out. Benedict Mathurin fouled out in the fourth quarter, while Andrew Nembhard was sent off in the third. Timberwolves led by 5 points with 1 minute remaining in OT until Thomas Bryant made a three-pointer, and Anthony Edwards scored 29 of his 38 points after halftime. Julius Randle's fadeaway failed at the buzzer, Toppin made his clutch shot and Edwards missed from far. Along with his game-winning layup with 4.6 seconds remaining in regulation, T.J. McConnell finished the Pacers with 11 points and 13 assists. Takeaways. Pacers, in preparation for a 5-game homestand, regulars Tyrese Haliburton back, Aaron Nesmith ankle, Miles Turner hip, and Pascal Siakam personal rested as the substitutes played quickly. Indiana sits in 4th place in the East, 1 game behind Milwaukee. Timberwolves, playing the night before didn't help, and depleted opponents have made for risky games on several occasions. Despite shooting poorly that evening, Edwards, who scored 41 points against Utah on Sunday, provided the required intensity. However, in the competitive Western Conference playoff race, this game might come back to haunt the Timberwolves. Key moment. Mike Conley drove to the hoop, but Rudy Gobert stopped him with a shoulder check after Nembhard struck him with an elbow. With the Timberwolves behind 66-58, the audience was quickly electrified as Nembhard threw the ball at Gobert to get his second technical foul after a video review. Key stat. Edwards, the NBA's top 3-point shooter, made only one of his 11 long-range attempts. Next. On Wednesday, Indiana will host Dallas. On Wednesday and Friday, Minnesota will host New Orleans.